Has someone ever said something to you that was so hurtful it made your stomach drop? Maybe the comment was meant to embarrass you or make you give up on your dreams, and now you're questioning whether you should keep going or just give up. Everyone has been there at some point, but what if I told you could use these moments as fuel to reach farther than ever before? What if you could transform negative comments like these into opportunities for success in your career, in your passions, and even in your personal life? In this video, I'm going to share 3 powerful strategies to turn negative comments into fuel for growth. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new, and let's jump right into it. The first method to turn the negativity of others into fuel for your own personal projects is to remember your purpose. Oftentimes, when someone says something mean or unhelpful to us, we freeze up and start thinking thoughts like, what if they're right? Or what if I should just give up anyways? But it is exactly moments like these where you have to keep your goals and values at the front of your mind to make sure you're staying focused on what truly matters and not letting others' negativity get you down. I had an experience like this literally last night when I was filming street interviews on Del Playa. So my friends and I were walking on Del Playa, which is a huge party street here at UC Santa Barbara, and we were doing street interviews with this random girl on the street. We were all laughing and having fun until literally mid-interview, these 3 guys came up behind us and started shouting things like, "Don't go on an interview with them. They're all a bunch of losers, and that video's gonna get no views." And these were people I didn't even know, and I assumed they were just drunk because of how mean they were acting for literally no reason. But it was still enough to make everyone in my group think, well, why are we even doing this? Is this gonna get any views, or is this even worth our time? I went to bed that night mad and discouraged, until the next morning when I got up, I started writing a script for a new YouTube video, and I was looking at the clips that we got from the night before. And as I was looking through them, I was like, wow, we got some really good stuff in here. Some of these clips are actually great. I realized that in that moment of someone just being a hater, I let myself think, maybe they're right. Maybe I am just embarrassing myself, and maybe I should just give up on everything that I'm doing. But in that moment, I was too emotional and wasn't remembering the reason why I started in the first place. I knew in my heart that I wanted to make content that was entertaining and that other people would find helpful. And if a couple people on the street just didn't like it and had something to say, then let them say it, and I shouldn't let it get to me on a deep level. I remembered that I created this YouTube channel to help ambitious people. And even if some people didn't share my same vision, it's not going to stop me from doing the things that I know I need to be doing. So, by remembering your purpose and why you started doing these things in the first place, you rise above all the noise and negativity and let yourself pursue the things that you know you need to be doing. When you're driven by purpose, you get into this flow state where no amount of negativity can possibly hold you back from achieving greatness, and you can be singularly focused on the things you need to be doing. The next strategy to not only handle negativity, but transform it into an opportunity for improvement is to focus on growth. If you don't let your confidence falter when someone tries to tear you down, you can use this as fuel and an opportunity to work even harder than you ever did before. A hateful comment can be more than just something to ignore. It can be a catalyst to propel you even farther if you approach it with the right mindset. So, how do you build a mindset where negative comments bring you further than ever before? Even when I was a freshman in college, I knew that I needed to be more than average. I had this fiery ambition and this imperative to do more, to be more, and I just needed a direction. And there was this one guy who always had something to say about it. Let's call him Johnny. Johnny would always see me working. He'd see me in the gym, he'd see me networking, and he'd see me discussing business ideas. And I knew something about that just disgusted him deep down in his core. Him and I had a lot of mutual friends, so we were always kind of in the same circles. And one day we were both at the dining hall, and I was explaining this new business idea to use this new thing called AI to change the way that students are learning in their classes. And of course, without missing a beat, Johnny got right to hating. He said things like, "You don't know anything about AI. You don't know how much work is needed to start a business, and it's probably going to be a failure." Keep in mind, this guy has never started his own business or made his own money. This is purely baseless criticism. But instead of getting mad and trying to one-up him, I decided to stay quiet. I knew that I wanted the goal that I was striving for much more than I wanted him to feel stupid in that one moment. And plus, I knew how good it would feel once he saw that it finally started to work out. Fast forward to today, and I've been growing this company over the last 3 months. I've been personally invited to events where I get to share my company's vision in front of investors, tech executives, and company founders. This is all happening at the same time our team is growing and things are going really well. And the funniest thing is I never talked to this guy about anything that I was doing, but I never forgot what he said about how I couldn't do it. All throughout the months that I was researching and building this company, I kept the mindset that people only give negative comments if they can't do it themselves or they don't want to see you win. Focusing on growth while staying confident is a great way to transform the negative things people say into motivation to keep pursuing your goals. With this mindset, you not only prove the haters wrong, you strengthen your own self-confidence that you can succeed despite any circumstances you're faced with. Real quick, before we move on to the most important tip, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if anything in this video so far has stood out to you. I make weekly content on self-improvement and motivation to help ambitious people like you achieve their goals, and being subscribed is a great way to stay up to date. Finally, the #1 way to handle hate and make sure it's not stopping you from doing the things you need to be doing is to recognize where it's coming from and practice empathy. Practicing empathy helps you realize that the negative things people say are almost always a reflection of their own insecurities and shortcomings, and rarely an accurate representation of your own self-worth. I have never met someone who is successful or intelligent who would purposely say something to try and bring someone else down, because frankly, it's usually the people with the deepest rooted insecurities that are the ones that's gonna give you the most hate. To explain what I mean further, let's jump right into it. First off, I wanna say there are some people who give you constructive criticism, which is a lot different than hate. The people who give you constructive criticism are fine and are usually helpful to you in most cases, but right now we're talking about the people who give you hate. Someone who goes out of their way to say something to you with the purpose of making you give up, feel embarrassed, or not feel like you're doing something good is 99% of the time just reflecting what they think about themselves onto you and your actions. If someone says something like, "You're embarrassing yourself," or "You're never gonna be successful," most of the time they just have nothing going for them themselves and they're trying to bring you down to their level. These hateful comments are purely a reflection of what these people think about themselves. And the intention in saying these things is to make you give up. So don't buy into it and give them what they want. Deep down, they're mad because you're doing the work that they couldn't force themselves to do. And they will do anything in their power to tear you down and make sure you're not achieving the goals that they failed on. So, by practicing empathy, you reduce the emotional weight of the comments people might make about you by understanding that these are purely reflections of what these people think about themselves. When you let these comments roll off your shoulder, you're demonstrating emotional strength and maturity, and making sure some hater isn't holding you back from reaching your full potential. So to recap, turning negativity into fuel to bring you closer to your goals starts with remembering your purpose. Remembering why you started keeps you on track and makes negativity feel irrelevant. Next, focusing on growth while staying confident helps transform negative comments into motivation. Use negative comments to push yourself harder and prove to yourself that you're more than what these haters are saying about you. And finally, practicing empathy helps you see that hate is not a reflection of your own self-worth, but rather just a reflection of someone else's own insecurities. Practicing empathy frees you from the emotional weight of people's comments and keeps you focused on achieving your goals. Let negative comments roll off your shoulder and prioritize emotional strength, and you'll be achieving your full potential in no time. Anyways, if you have found anything I've said in this video valuable, please consider hitting that subscribe button. As I've said, I make weekly videos to help ambitious people like you break through common sticking points, and being subscribed is a great way to stay up to date. Also, leaving a comment down below of something that stood out to you and hitting the like button is a great way to help me out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best, and I'll see you next time.